Arbitrum hit 3.2 million daily transactions at 18 cents each, while Ethereum managed 1.1 million at $5.40. Base locked $1.8 billion in DeFi with sub-0.05 gas fees. And Optimism's Velodrome paid out $47 million to LPs in Q1. But behind the cheap fees and big yields sits a darker reality. $2.8 billion lost to bridge hacks, critical L2 bugs patched in emergencies, and most small chain LPS taking losses. Welcome to Crypto IQ. Today we're exposing PNG, the real world of Layer-2 yield farming, how it works, where the risks hide, and how to choose the right L2 for your strategy. Layer-2 networks run transactions off Ethereum, while still settling back to the main net for security. They batch large volumes of activity, compress the data, and post proofs to Ethereum, so every bundled transaction can be verified. Optimistic rollups used by Arbitrum and Optimism assume transactions are valid unless challenged. They post data to Ethereum and allow a 7-day fraud-proof window, which also delays withdrawals. Arbitrum reached 99.4% uptime in 2023 and processed over 850 million transactions since 2021. Zero-knowledge rollups like zkSync Era and StarkNet generate cryptographic proofs that confirm validity instantly without a challenge period. zkSync processed 240 million transactions by February 2024 with approximately 15-second confirmations, though proof generation can increase fees when demand spikes. Sidechains, such as Polygon POS, run independently with their own validators, offering cheap, fast transactions but weaker security guarantees. Polygon processed 2.8 million daily transactions in March 2024 at 2 cents each with 948 million TVL. These security differences shape user risk. Optimistic rollups rely on honest validators. zk rollups offer mathematical certainty, and sidechains depend on their own validator integrity. Lower transaction costs completely reshape yield farming economics. A standard 4-step farming strategy on Ethereum mainnet can cost about $20 in gas. On a $1,000 position, earning 15% APY, 2% disappears before any yield is made. On Arbitrum, the same steps cost roughly 72 cents total, just 0.072% of capital, making smaller positions viable and allowing more frequent rebalancing. L2 incentive programs further boost yields. Arbitrum distributed 1.162 billion ARB tokens, worth $1.4 billion. Optimism allocated 19% of supply to retroactive rewards worth $680 million. Base directed $3.2 million to builders within months of launch. L2S also enable high-efficiency strategies like cross-margining and advanced derivatives. GMX on Arbitrum generated $124 billion in trading volume and paid $196 million in fees to LPS without exposing them to impermanent loss. Platforms like Beefy Finance rely on cheap L2 gas to auto-compound rewards across dozens of vaults. Strategies that would be unprofitable on mainnet due to gas overhead. Arbitrum leads with $13.2 billion TVL, 1.8 million daily active addresses, and 3.4 million transactions per day. Fees stay under 20 cents, and withdrawals take 7 days due to the challenge period. Optimism holds $6.8 billion TVL with 850,000 daily transactions. It offers EVM equivalents for seamless deployment and has distributed about $890 million through multiple airdrops. Synthetics fully migrated here, processing $5.2 billion in Q4 2023 take. Base, built by Coinbase on the OP stack, reached 1.8 billion TVL and 1.2 million daily transactions within 6 months, with 0.04 fees. It became a major meme coin hub, hitting $847 million in daily DEX volume. zkSync era reported $740 million TVL and 400,000 daily transactions, with 4 to 6 hour withdrawal times and 0.15 to $0.80 fees, depending on proof complexity. Polygon POS maintained $870 million TVL and 2.8 million daily transactions at approximately $0.02 each, though its 2023 chain reorg highlighted validator-level security concerns. Bridging funds from Ethereum to Layer-2 networks starts with official bridges or cross-chain aggregators. The Arbitrum bridge lets users move ETH or ERC20 tokens with arrivals in about 15 minutes, costing 1 Ethereum gas transaction plus minimal L2 gas. Third-party bridges such as Stargate and Across allow direct movement between L2s without returning to mainnet. Stargate processed $8.4 billion in 2023 and charges 0.04% to 0.1% plus gas on both ends. Wallets must be configured with the correct chain parameters, so MetaMask can read balances and interact with L2 contracts. Arbitrum 1 uses chain ID 42,161. and Base uses 8,453. Bridge exploits remain the most damaging L2 threat. Ronin lost $624 million after validator keys were compromised. Nomad lost $190 million to a contract flaw. And Multichain froze $1.5 billion when its team disappeared. Liquidity fragmentation also hurts returns. A $50,000 swap on Ethereum might slip 0.05%, but the same trade on a smaller L2 pool with only $8 million liquidity can slip 1.2%, cutting yields by over 1% per trade. Smart contract and consensus bugs add more risk. Optimism patched a flaw in 2022 that could have allowed infinite ETH minting. And Arbitrum suffered a 78-minute outage in December 2023. MEV extraction works differently on L2s because centralized sequencers can reorder transactions before posting them to Ethereum. Arbitrum sequencer revenue hit $48 million in 2023. Optimism generated $32 million. Token incentive devaluation often wipes out farming gains. In 2023, 26 of 40 L2 farming programs saw reward tokens fall over 70% within 3 months, turning high APYs into negative real returns for anyone holding emissions. TVL reflects liquidity depth and protocol maturity. Networks above $5 billion TVL, like Arbitrum at $13.2 billion, support dozens of well-funded DeFi apps. Smaller L2s, under $500 million, often host only a handful of pools with thin liquidity. Transaction costs define strategy viability. Frequent rebalancers should target networks with sub-0.10 fees, such as Base or Polygon POS, while zkSync fees may rise above 0.50 during proof congestion. Bridge security determines capital safety. Use official bridges like Arbitrums and Optimisms, both of which have processed billions without exploits. Third-party bridges add extra smart contract risk. Yield sustainability depends on revenue sources. Emission-heavy programs degrade quickly, while fee-based models like GMX, which shares 30% of trading fees with LPS, offer more stable, economically grounded returns. Layer 2. Yield farming offers genuine cost advantages that transform DeFi economics for smaller capital allocations. Transaction cost reductions of 95%, plus compared to Ethereum mainnet, make strategies profitable at capital levels, where mainnet gas fees would consume returns entirely. But the risks are real and have destroyed capital systematically. Bridge exploits, totaling $2.8 billion since 2021, demonstrate that cross-chain transfers remain the highest risk operation in DeFi. Comment below, what's your Layer 2 farming experience? Which networks have delivered actual profits after accounting for all costs and risks? Subscribe to the Crypto IQ. Next, we're examining another DeFi sector where promised returns collide with hidden risks that technical documentation conveniently omits. We'll see you in the next deep dive.